All right, econ students, in this video, we're going to take a look at examples of supply shifters, and then we'll come up with an acronym, and we should hopefully have it make sense to us. So, in the last video, we talked about how the supply curve shifts. And so all of these are talking about shifts of the supply curve. Remember, those are caused by some outside factor. And what we mean outside factor is we mean not price. And you might as well even put right now, because we'll talk about an example how that's a little bit different, but not the price of the good right now. So in our example that we're looking at, all of the goods, all of these things, all of these graphs, all of these are supply curves for lemonade. So all of them show the supply of lemonade. And all of them then show that when the price goes up, the quantity supplied goes up. That's the upward sloping supply curve. So we've went through that a couple of times now. And so each one of these examples basically says this is an outside factor, this is an outside factor. If we go below, we have more outside factors down here that are causing some sort of changes to take place. And our goal is to figure out if that increases the supply curve, shifts it to the right, or decreases the supply curve, shifts it to the left. So we're going to try to make sense of some of these outside factors that are taking place. All right, so if I can get this to work, I'll show us the first one. So in the last video, we should know this one pretty easily, that if we have a greater number of producers, it's going to increase the supply curve. If we have a fewer number of producers, it's going to decrease the supply curve. So we need to be able to show a decrease in the supply. So here we're going to say there's going to be a decrease in supply. Notice I didn't put quantity supplied, right? What causes a decrease in the quantity supplied, right? What would cause that to go down? Well, what causes that to go down is the price goes down. That's not what we're showing. We're saying there's just less producers for whatever reason. Maybe some just went out of business, or maybe that some decided to do something else, or maybe their buildings were destroyed. I don't know. Something happened and there's fewer producers. So what's that going to look like? So we're going to, remember, shift this supply curve to the left like that. So that is a decrease in supply. So for example, before we said at 30 cents there were I don't remember what number we used before, but there were like 6 people wanting to sell. Now at 30 cents, since there are fewer people, there are only 4 people that want to sell at 30 cents. Right? So there's a decrease in the supply curve for lemonade. Right? Hopefully that one makes sense. Let's see if we can look at the second one over here. So the second one over here says the price of lemons increases. Price of lemons increases. So you got to just think about it for a second and say, how does that impact lemonade? Now it says price, right? But we're not graphing lemons. We're not graphing lemons, we're graphing lemonade. So what are lemons to lemonade? And if the price of lemons has gone up, how does that impact lemonade? Right? So we didn't say the price of lemonade changed, but the price of lemons increases. So therefore, my quantity supplied of lemons is going to go, well, I'll take that example back. We'll get into that more in the future. Let's just leave it as lemons are more expensive. So I can purchase fewer lemons, right? So I can't get as many lemons as I could before. So therefore, my supply for lemonade is going to have to decrease. You know, before I could, with my lemonade stand, I could buy 100 lemons, but now the price of lemons has doubled, so I can only buy 50. So therefore, I can only supply fewer cups than I could before. Right? So similar result as this one over here. Similar result as what we found on this side over there. All right? So decrease in supply. All right, so now we got some examples down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I would like you to try and you should pause this video as well. I want you to try and do these last 3. See if you can get these last 3 correct. Improved juicing technology, government tax on lemonade, and the price of lemonade is expected to decrease. So why don't you go ahead and pause and see if you can get those correct. Okay, let's see. So we have 3 more outside factors. Remember, they are not changes in prices and quantity supplied. They're a change in supply, change in the whole supply curve. And so improved juicing technology, hopefully we guessed that this would increase supply, and an increased supply would look like that. And we would have our new supply curve move to the right. So what does that mean? Before at 10 cents, I only could produce 2 of them, but now at 10 cents with my improved technology, I can produce them faster, better, cheaper, and so I can produce 4 of them now. Or at 20 cents, before I only wanted to produce 4 of them, and now at 20 cents, I want to produce 6 of them, let's say. All right, so I want to produce more at every price than I did before. All right, what about if the government taxes lemonade? If the government taxes lemonade, it's going to be more expensive for me to produce lemonade, and so I'm not going to be able to produce as much as I could before. So before it was out here, and now it's here. So I produced less than I did before. All right, and the last one, price of lemonade is expected to fall. This one can be tricky. So you have to think of it in terms of today, what do I do if tomorrow the price is expected to go down? So I run my lemonade stand, and I know that tomorrow prices are dropping. So what do I want to do with my lemonade today? All the lemonade I got sitting around, what do I want to do with it today? I want to supply as much of it as I can today. Right? So if it's expected to fall in the future, today I want to sell a lot of it. Right? So that's what I'm going to do if tomorrow I expect the price to go down. All right? Hopefully those examples make sense. The last thing we're going to do is basically just make an acronym to make it easier for us to remember our supply changes. Okay? So if I can get on the right part here. Okay, so I've made up a simple acronym for us to try and remember this. And the simple acronym is called PIT-GOPO. Just like that. All right? And that's going to summarize basically the factors just that we went through. And so PIT-GOPO helps us remember the supply shifters. And then we just have to memorize them and know which way they go. So the first one is number of producers, which we did our first 2 examples on. The second one is input costs. And input costs is the one where we said the price of lemons increases. The third one is technology, which was our example of improved juicing technology. This next one is a long one. It's government. Oops, that would be GO. And then this is policy. Government policy. And government policy are things like taxes and subsidies. All right? So think of taxes like taking money away, and a subsidy is giving money to. Right? So if the government gives you a subsidy to produce lemonade, it's going to increase supply of lemonade. And so that's GOPO, government policy. And the last one is expectation. Right, which we talked about right there, that one. All right, so PIT-GOPO are our supply shifters. Know it, memorize it, and then know which way it shifts the supply curve. Remember, to the right is an increase, and then to the left, sorry, I ran out of room, is a decrease. Remember that for supply.